Mama said live up to my name, but they jockin'. They gon' try, go and take your face for the profit. They gon' lie, they gon' slip and slide, get beside you. They gon' try, we 100 deep like Verizon. In the trees with the bumblebees on horizon. And catching Z's, I've been in the V on road to Zion. Sunday souls, I've been in that mode that I ain't buying.
He slaughter gang, then he ain't official. When that chopper sing, you really think that they gon' miss you. I spent $500,000 on dismissals. It's gonna be a hearse, not a verse if I dish you.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Kay Bly, and this is A Slice of Horror. Today, we are going to talk about the sequel, 28 Years Later. Now, I was a fan of the first two movies. I remember being in probably like high school when the first one came out. It's 2002. And then I was in college when the second one came out in 2007, I believe. And now here it is, 2025, and we finally got a third film. But this will be a spoiler review, and I will save my overall rating for the end. So make sure you go ahead and give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Before we get started talking about the film itself, I want to take a moment to talk about the virus origin. I think it's important, especially as we see how the infected in this movie has leveled up. The people who are infected are not exactly zombies in the sense that we know them to be. These people are infected with a different type of virus than we think about with a typical virus outbreak movie. This virus originated from Ebola, and the scientists who developed it were trying to use it to cure rage for crowd control. Y'all going out there to these protests if y'all want to. That's what they invented this for people who are protesting and rioting, as a form of control of their anger and rage, and for it to spread fast. That's not what happened. So they infected a bunch of monkeys with it. And instead of it making them docile and calm, it turned their rage all the way up to make it to where it seemed like they were just like rabies almost, and aggressive, and it spread the infection rate is very, very fast. And the monkeys end up getting out because PETA found out that they were experimenting on these monkeys, let them out. Of course, they got bit, and boom, viruses everywhere, all over Europe, though. Like England, the UK is where it started at. And that's pretty much where it's contained at for these three movies. It hasn't really spread outside of the continent of Europe, I believe. It looks like the whole world is in an apocalypse, but it's really been so far contained within just that area. Now, y'all know how I'm here for a cold opening, and this did not disappoint. I was immediately sucked into the movie from the opening credits. So we start off what looks like a daycare or preschool, and the kids are watching Teletubbies. Now, if y'all are, my age, millennials, y'all know what Teletubbies are. It's the weirdest show. But small children really flock to it because of like its bright colors and whatnot. But it was a very, very odd show. But kids loved it. So they're sitting here watching the show, and boom, virus outbreak spreads through this little daycare area. Nobody makes it out alive except for one kid. One little boy makes it out, runs to a church where his dad is. Dad sacrificed himself so the little boy can get out. And then we get the boom, 28 years later. Now, before we continue into the movie, I did watch this in theaters, and I do want to talk about the pizza that I had there. So let's take a minute.
Anybody here order a pizza?
Charlie! Pizza!
It dices, it slices, and yet makes French fries in 3 different.
So y'all, my favorite food, as always, going to the theater is going to be that popcorn. That's it. I'll get full off popcorn and maybe some gummies or M&Ms and I'm good. I don't usually be ordering like food unless it's like one of those fancy theaters where they have like the whole dinner menu that they like bring to you and whatnot. But other than that, but popcorn is my thing. But it was late. I was hungry. Y'all, I finally tried movie theater pizza and it wasn't that bad. Now, mind you, I don't eat nothing but cheese pizza these days because I don't eat beef and pork, but it wasn't that bad. So if you want to have pizza at a movie theater, y'all, it ain't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Okay. I was a little afraid. Maybe I was just hungry. Y'all drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know, have you ever had movie theater pizza? And if you have, how was it? That was kind of like my first experience going in with that. And I maybe I was just hungry. Y'all tell me if I'm tripping. If it's bad, let me know. And if I go back and try it again when I'm not like starving and I might think something else. But AMC, you wouldn't have had. Now, getting into this third installment, we meet Jamie and his son Spike. He wants to take Spike out to go hunting. He's like, "You old enough, you got to get out here." So apparently, in this little village that they've created, at a certain age, they want the children to be able to start fending for themselves and be able to help, participate in the community and keep everybody safe. Um, his wife really wasn't for it. She still felt like he was too young. We see her. Her name is Isla. She's laying in the bed, and we find out like she's sick. Something's going on with her health. But of course, this is an apocalypse. It ain't like they got the best medical treatment or diagnostic criteria. And so she was kind of against it, but I mean, what could she do? She could barely get out of bed to protest. But Jamie's like, I think it's time for him. He can handle it. Let's go. And while they're out, they see that there's like this one infected person that's like hanging upside down, but it's with a bag over its head, but it's not completely dead yet. And after they leave that little situation in which he tries to get Spike to like put it down, shoot at it, because Spike, he don't, he had to get out there and flex his muscles a little bit, but he ended up having to when they run into a whole horde of them. You ain't got no choice now, Spike, but to shoot and run. So they make it back to the rest of their crew safely. It was a little touch and go there. I actually thought we was about to lose Jamie in that instance. I thought he was about to sacrifice himself for Spike, but he didn't. They both made it. So now while they're out partying and celebrating and whatnot, we're gonna come back to that. We see Jamie out here cheating on his wife. So first of all, you can be dusty and raggedy in apocalypse. I said, I know that ain't what I think I'm seeing. Like, I know damn well you ain't cheating on your sick wife in a zombie apocalypse. It was at that moment where I said, I ain't got shit for Jamie after. You know what? You can go ahead and sacrifice yourself. I ain't got nothing for you. Because what are you doing? Apparently a zombie apocalypse ain't gonna stop you from being raggedy, and your wife being sick ain't gonna stop you from being raggedy. I was rooting for you, but then after that, I was like, nah, buddy, I can't even do it. But let's talk about the infected in this third movie. So I don't know if y'all have seen Army of the Dead or not, but it is on Netflix. In Army of the Dead, the zombies there evolved and pretty much leveled up to the point where they had their own little communities and their own system of how they run things, and they had their own leader and they had their own way of communicating. And I think the one that was the wife or the girlfriend of the leader, I think she was pregnant as well in that one. And so we see the infected in this movie becoming less and less feral as they were in the first two movies. Like, they are able to communicate with each other now. They pretty much ditched clothes because apparently they're not needed. They ain't even worry about that part. But they are being able to communicate with each other and form some kind of little allyship and whatnot, and apparently date. Okay, they're finding mates out here in these streets. But y'all let me know if that reminded you of Army of, because that's the first thing I thought. I was like, okay, so they are evolving with the time. Because think about it, it's been 28 years since that infection took place. And so, being that these are not actually true zombies, so they're not dead people who reanimated. They are just infected, and they are somehow learning to adapt to the infection and still survive in their own twisted way. But back to Mr. Dusty over here. Spike sees it. Okay. Spike sees what his dad is doing, and he is not happy about it because Spike is really, really attached to his mom. And he approaches him about it. And not only does he approach him about it, but he's like, so when they were out and stuff, they saw a fire. And he's just like asking, like, who is that? And his dad is just like, there's this doctor that we heard about, but we don't think that he's okay. He might be a little off. And Spike was like, so there's a doctor out there that could have helped her. Plus, you cheating on her. Cool. You know what? You got it. You got it, my guy. So Spike leaves the house with his mom and is just like, you know what? We ain't even gonna worry about him right now. He raggedy. He is a doctor out here. He could have helped you. He could have did something. And you really don't even want to know what else he been doing out here in these streets. Okay. I'm gonna spare you that, but I'm gonna get you some help. It's gonna be me and you now. And his mom kind of just really don't know what's going on because her mind is going bad at this point. Like, she's been sick for a long time with no kind of real medical treatment. So Spike decides to take this task on hand. And the dad pretty much stepped aside because apparently he felt guilty and shame because he didn't go out and really try to find real medical help. And he was cheating. It's like he had a whole girlfriend. Okay, it ain't like he just found a random. It ain't that many damn people in this little community. So he was having this a whole other lifestyle. Like, you ain't think Spike was gonna see that and get pissed off? Like, you got a son sitting there who's real attached to his mom. But I digress. So along their journey to find this doctor, they end up running into like a soldier as well who lets them know, like, hey, the outside world is not like this. Like, it's functioning and advancing as society would within a next 2-3 decades. And we're just coming to see like what's still going on out here and who needs help, because where I'm from, we straight. And so they end up seeing this pregnant infected person, not just pregnant but actively in labor. And Spike's mom is like, I gotta help her. Like, I don't know. I just feel like something got to be done. And she helps deliver the baby, and the baby is not infected. Immediately they could tell, like, the baby is okay. But we don't know if if they let this infected lady keep the baby, will she try to harm the baby? Like, will it even be safe with her at this point? And the soldier person is like, we gotta go. We gotta go up out of here. And boom, Samson comes out, who is apparently their leader. And pretty much, y'all, if y'all ain't seen that part, that was brutal. Okay, that was brutal. I don't know where they get all this strength from, but listen, you don't want to be around when Samson is around. Okay, you don't want nothing to do with that guy. So I don't know if he is upset that they take the baby, or I don't know, or he's just going around murking people like that. I guess we'll see what's going on with that. But I don't know if he wants the baby to harm it, or if he really thinks that they have the capabilities to raise it. I'm not sure. Y'all are just now coming out of a state of being completely feral. Y'all still ain't made it all the way to the point that y'all are well. So I'm not sure what y'all gonna do with the infant. But they take the baby with them, and they end up finding Dr. Ian, who's been using tranquilizers to put down the infected, because he knows that they're not like, dead people who have just came back to life, that they are virus infected. And so whenever they come too close or whatever, he just kind of like shoots them with like morphine or something, and let them go on about their business. But he's been out here surviving and whatnot. And Spike is like, can you help my mom? And also, can we do something with this baby? And the doctor is pretty much like, the placenta guarded her, so she's fine. We're just gonna have to get her some food, some milk or whatever, because water ain't gonna hold it. And he kind of examines, you know, Isla, and that's when we find out that Isla is in a advanced stage of cancer. It's infected her chest and her mind. There ain't no chemo in this area, no radiation, nothing like that. Ain't no medicine. Like that's it, because at this there's nothing that they can do. That hurts Spike to his core, because he's just like, it was so hard getting here. Like there was, there was like these big bloated infected people that were out that looked like the walkers from The Walking Dead that was submerged in water and just like big and puffy, that survived. They didn't survive. Samson, they out here running. They done got done took on a baby. He's like, we done did all this and she's not gonna make it. Doctor's like, no, I mean, we ain't got it. Like what she has, it takes like heavy artillery medical equipment to deal with, and we don't have the means here. And you know, Isla feels bad, but she's just like, I don't even want to be suffering no more. I can't do it anymore. Spike, you help take care of this baby, and and you keep living and get her home or whatever. And she pretty much asked the doctor to like put her down with one of the morphine darts or whatever. And so he does, and after he does that, he gives her skull to Spike, and he takes it and puts it on top of the little skull tower that's there, as his kind of way of saying goodbye to his mom. And he takes the baby back home, but he doesn't stay there. He wrote a note to his father and said, hey, the baby is fine. She was born from like an infected woman, but she's fine. Her name is Isla. I'm fine. I'll come home when I want to. Okay. Spike still got an attitude. Spike said, I still don't want to be here with you, because like right now it's still up. Like I know what you did, and I'm not okay with that. Like right now, the only family that I had is gone, and I don't want to stay there with you. Like not right now. Like I just figured out that I can fend for myself. I kept my mom alive, and I done came all this way here and helped the baby survive. My guy, I'll be back when I feel like it. All right, don't come and find me. I'm gonna be straight. Well, he wasn't that straight, because the infected like attacked him in like a large quantity at this point. But he did get a little protection here from, oh, lo and behold, little Jimmy from the opening credits has found his crew of Teletubby looking people. And they were the ones that were responsible for the infected guy at the beginning of the movie that was hanging upside down. They done started their own little cult like thing. And now I think their looks go beyond Teletubby. What I have been looking at researching is that Jimmy kind of crafted his look perhaps after like this children's TV host producer person. But then we find out, I guess like later on in life or after the guy passes away, he really wasn't a good person. But maybe by that time, they're like, from where they're standing at, I don't think they knew this information would have came out after, and they may not have had the media to know. But I think that at the time he was a child and probably looked up to this person. But Jimmy is like, we got it. These people are doing flips and kicks and twists and stuff. Like they are out here killing the infected. Like it's a video game. Okay. They doing dance moves. I'm like, what is going on here? But they got it though. They got it together. Now, I don't know what they got it going on, but from what I'm hearing is that the sequel, they're also having another movie that's supposed to come out next year, will be heavily led by Jack O'Connell. Shout out to him in Sinners, by the way. If you haven't seen Sinners, he plays Remick in Sinners. The sequel is going to be a lot focused on his character Jimmy. And also we got returning for the sequel is Cillian Murphy, who is a producer for this movie. We have not seen him since the first one, so I'm actually curious as to what he has been doing the past 28 years to survive. And I'm actually excited to see the next one, because now we're kind of like blending the movies and putting them all together and seeing where are we going from here. what are the next steps with this? How are we going to get out of this? Are they ever going to get like the people who are okay to leave? Is the virus going to spread to any other countries? Where are we going with it? But I'll be here for it. Y'all drop down in the comment section and let me know if you have seen 28 Years Later. If you are a fan of the 28 franchise, did you like the first two movies? How did you feel about the opening scene? Are you excited for Cillian Murphy returning to the franchise? And what would be your overall rating for this movie? I gave it a 3 out of 5 knives. At the begin, I was there in the beginning because it had a really good cold opening. And then I kind of lost focus when Spike and his dad were like out hunting and whatnot. And then I don't know, maybe it hit me all of a sudden when shit started to get real with like Spike. Like Spike just ain't out here being no regular ordinary little annoying child. Like Spike was on a mission. And I appreciated that part. It wasn't a lot of jump scares in here. This was very character driven. And they really told us a story. And I was here for Spike. And I usually don't care about teen angst and children in horror movies because they usually be aggravating. But I like Spike in this movie. I was here for it. And I look forward to see him in the sequel as well. And I wonder what his interactions will be with Jimmy in the next movie. So I was here for it. But y'all drop down in the comments and let me know how you feel about it. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you have not. And stay tuned on the channel for more content just like this. We will see you in the next one.
Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear. No, I can't help but to hear.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
What a beautiful
Thank you.
wedding. What a
Thank you.
beautiful wedding.
Thank you.
Bridesmaid to a yes, but what a shame. What a shame. A poor groom's bride is
Thank you.
a whore. I chime in with the haven't you people ever heard of
Thank you.
closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I chime in, haven't you people ever heard of
Thank you.
closing